Welcome to Coming Out of the Dark podcast, a podcast like none other, where women are empowered, encouraged, and uplifted to be the best version of themselves. Get ready to come from darkness into light with a passion to fulfill purpose. Here is your host, Miss Lady O.
Hello, thank you for listening to another episode of Coming Out of the Dark. I am your host, Miss Lady O. If you're tuning in for the first time, I want to share that this platform is in celebration of the life and memory of my beautiful sister, Glennis Marie Boyce. She is the inspiration for this platform. All that I do is in celebration of her life, and what she means to me. I would also like to share that I am not a doctor or a therapist, but I am a certified empowerment coach who is committed to supporting women who are ready to break the cycle of self-sabotaging thoughts and beliefs, so they can build healthy relationships, own their identity, and confidently achieve their desired goals. I tell you, it's my life's purpose to encourage, empower, and uplift, and I am so greatly honored to do this on this platform. Well, it has been a while since we last connected. Our last conversation was about Crossroads and what I didn't know I was going to collide with a crossroad of my own. This year has been a year of many first experiences. At the top of the year, I decided to leave my full-time employment to embark on this wonderful, amazing, terrific, outstanding journey of entrepreneurship. See, because I know within my heart and in my soul that LOE brand, which is Lady O Enterprises LLC, is indeed my life's purpose. And it is now is the time for me to put my faith and my trust in God to begin that journey of walking out the vision He has for my life. Now, what I didn't know the roadblocks I would encounter. But I tell you that none of those roadblocks, none of them compared to the crossroad that I encountered at the start of March 2022. It was during my weekly mental health appointment, the appointment that I have, with my therapist. She asked me, did you have your mammogram? Because she keeps track of this information for all her patients. Not that it's a necessity, but it's just that she has her own personal passion, and she's passionate and a strong believer in having your mammogram checkups. I responded, I did not, but I will get right on it and schedule an appointment with my primary doctor. It is my primary doctor that provides the prescription, or what you would say, the authorization for the mammogram. So the day came, and I'm now visiting with my primary doctor. I'm not nervous at all, because I figured this is simply a routine appointment. I haven't seen my primary doctor since before COVID, when the world closed their doors from all types of interactions. my doctor, she is so excited to see me. And I feel the same. I'm so excited to see her. We have such a wonderful relationship. So she explains, before she can give me the mammogram prescription, she would need to do a full physical. The reason is because it has been 2 years since my last visit, and that's understandable. I'm like, okay. I happily agreed as I followed her every instruction. She gave me all the necessary tests according to my health history. At the end of the session, she provides me with my mammogram prescription. Great. We hugged, and she said she will only call me if the test came back with alarming results. I acknowledged her statement and continued with my day as I journeyed home. So here I am. I pulled my car into the garage. I placed my keys on the island countertop in my kitchen. Then the phone rings. It's my primary doctor. And she said, I need you to sit down. Everything froze. In that very moment, it froze with confusion because I couldn't think of what could be wrong. I'm healthy, so I thought. She said, I told you I would only call you if the test came back with alarming results. It is with fear and confusion I said, yes. She told me that I need to rush to my hematologist because my blood level is dangerously low. If I do not get the proper treatment ASAP, I will pass out and be in critical condition. As I stated, I listened to my doctors. So I call my hematologist and I make that emergency appointment. I believe it was the next day. So here I am in the hematologist's office, and he's examining me, asking a series of questions. He's trying to figure out why my blood level is so low. He asked if I had a colonoscopy, and my reply was no. I never had a colonoscopy before. So he schedules me to meet with another specialist concerning a colonoscopy exam. I'm like, okay. At this point, my spirit is growing weary because what I expected to be just a mammogram prescription authorization is now spiraling into something so much greater. In addition, I now find myself having to have several sessions of iron infusions. This went on for several weeks. At this point, I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed with emotions of fear, confusion, and so much more. I allow myself to feel every emotion, but I refuse to allow myself to stay in fear, because what that meant to me is I was going to be stuck there. And I knew I had to be positive. I had to be optimistic in order to get myself past this stage that I'm in, this process that I'm in. So what do? I stayed committed. I continued my bi-weekly communications with my therapist. I continued to build the LOE brand, which meant launching Miss Lady O's Closet, being consistent on social media, producing podcast episodes, interviewing guests, creating the Silence the Inner Critic workshop, and hosting 2 clubhouse rooms each week. I hosted a prayer room on Monday mornings, and a evening breaking barriers that stifle your confidence on Fridays. I did all of this while going through iron infusion, mammogram, and a series of doctor's appointments, and the darkness of the unknown, not knowing what is next. So we're here on May 2nd, 2022. I was scheduled for a colonoscopy. I can't recall the fear of the unknown gripping my body, because I just don't know what to expect from the colonoscopy, the process, what's going to be discovered, what's going to have to happen afterwards. It was just so much. It was so overwhelming. So much that my heart rate, I remember it so well, sitting on that hospital bed prepping for the colonoscopy. The nurse said my heart rate and my blood pressure it keeps elevating. So what they were supposed to just hook up equipment and take certain things away, they had to leave them on me because the elevation of my blood pressure and my heart rate. But I had to get myself together. I knew that. So I calmed myself down. I leaned in on my comforter, which is God. Because to me, He already knew I would be here. He already knew the results, and He knew how to get me through this. So I recalled on every positive scripture, message, phrase that I knew of, and allowed that to comfort me as I went through the process. When I came through, through the recovery of the colonoscopy, and I'm here laying on the bed and the anesthesia is wearing off, the doctor comes over to me. He leans over my bed and he told me that they discovered a mass. A mass was discovered in my colon, and that more than likely it was cancerous. I looked at the doctor. I heard every single word he said. I listened intently as he went over all the details. And I think he was so alarmed at my response because I did not react with tears or become hysterical. What I did do was I asked key questions. All the questions I can think of. And then I got dressed and proceeded home with a list of instructions that was provided to me from the doctor, which entailed more doctor's appointments. Inside, I'm feeling every emotion, but at the same time, there's a part of me saying, you gotta I know what's happening to you, but you have to be aware. You have to be alert. You have to be strong so that you can go through this process, so that you can ask the right questions, so that you can fully understand what you're about to go through. So there were a few days that was in between my colonoscopy exam and when the doctor was going to call me back to let me know whether, in fact, what they found, the mass, if it was cancerous. And I can recall the day I got the call that confirmed I had colon cancer. I cried. Oh boy, did I cry. So many thoughts were rushing through my mind. I questioned, God, so I'm going to die from cancer? Who is going to care for my mother? I even asked myself, are my affairs in order? What is going to happen to my life's purpose? Is this it? Wow. I have so much life ahead of me. So I thought, as I tried to grasp how I was feeling and the crossroad I'm confronted with, I decided right then in that moment to keep this decision, this verdict that was given to me, to keep this between me and God. My relationship with God is so important, and He is my comforter. And I knew that this moment right now, I needed to hear His voice and only His voice for a period of time. But then that time was short-lived. Because then came the final call from my hematologist that confirmed the news again that you have cancer. And this was based on another series of doctor's appointments that I had to go through. So it was like confirmation upon confirmation upon confirmation upon confirmation. But this call right here with my hematologist, it was across a Zoom call. And I remember the look on his face was that of doom and gloom. Without saying it, his emotions spoke death. My time with God equipped me to speak boldly and tell the doctor, I'm not going to die from this. You look as if you have more to tell me, and if so, I need you to tell it to me right now. He said, there's nothing else. I then proclaimed, again, I'm not going to die from this. At this point, I fully, without a doubt, put all my trust in God. I knew as long as my mother was living and I had purpose in my life, that I was not, and I repeat, I knew I was not going to die. I knew I would have to go through something to overcome the battle of cancer. I knew it would be painful, and I positioned myself emotionally to go through it, to go through it by faith and trusting God. But please note, even though I take that strong stance, I want you to know that you can trust God and you still can fear what is ahead. I am human. I'm not superhuman. So I did as the doctors told me, and that's when I notified my family and my close circle of friends of what I was going through. So it was scheduled on June 24th, that was the day of my surgery. I'm prepared to go through surgery. So I thought. As they were preparing me for surgery, they said I had a temperature of 101. My surgery was canceled right then and there on the spot. I didn't even get no further than the prep. And I was sent home to reschedule. I guess God did not want the surgery to take place on that day. I knew my temperature was going to be normal by the time I reached home. And sure enough, within 10 minutes from the drive from the hospital to my house, my temperature was normal. The surgery was rescheduled for July 13th. Now, the prep for that surgery went smoothly. I actually had a better experience compared to June 24th. The nurses were polite and accommodating as they rolled me through the doors to the sterile operating room. I closed my eyes. Oof. Fear was there. But I said, God, I surrender it all to you. Please guide this surgery, and whatever your will is, so shall it be. Touch the hands of the surgeons. I trust you. I was so scared. But what was I to do? I had no other choice to go through this experience. I could not turn back. So now we're here and the surgery is over. I'm now in the room and it's dark. It was dark in that room. When I opened my eyes, there was a doctor leaning over me. It startled me. And I remember jumping because I was like, oh my God, I didn't expect it. And he said, you were sleeping so peacefully. He then said, you did so good in surgery. You did not bleed out. And we were able to get everything. He said he needs confirmation from the biopsy, but he believes this is it for me. There is no sign of cancer in my blood or body. I remember saying, hooray, closing my eyes, thanking God, and then I began to share the news with family and friends that called. And then there is a healing process from me leaving the hospital to being at home, only to return on August 2nd, 2022, for my follow-up appointment with my surgeon. I was scared. Oh, it was such a haunting feeling the 2 weeks. It's the warfare going back and forth, the feeling of fear that overcomes you, and then the fight of you pushing the fear away and speaking positive and believing positive and listening to positive messages. Whew, I was fearful. But like I said, I refused to give in to my fear. So I woke up that morning. I wore my Silence the Inner Critic t-shirt, and I confidently walked into that surgeon's office. I sat on that bed and I waited for him to come through those doors, and I was just like, all right, God, here is the confirmation of all confirmations, because this is the results from the biopsy. This is the day. The day. I'm ready to hear the final verdict. So the surgeon said he removed the cancerous mass along with 34 lymph nodes. 34. When it was only supposed to be 2 lymph nodes, they removed 34 lymph nodes. The 34 lymph nodes all came back void of cancer. I screamed. I screamed. I exhaled and I cried. It was a celebratory moment, and the surgeon joined me in celebration. We both embraced, and he said, "This is amazing." He said, "I could not have received a better outcome." The thing is, it is amazing, and it is a miracle. God gave me life. I could breathe. I could breathe again. Truly take a breath of relief. I can care for my mother. I can continue to live out my purpose. I share this story with you in hopes it will inspire and encourage someone. There is so much more to this story, which I will share at another time and perhaps in another form. I want to thank my prayer warriors that prayed, fasted, and added me to their church prayer list. Thank you, and thank you again. Thank you to my family and friends who called to encourage me along my journey. Thank you to my neighbors for your support. I tell you, words cannot express my gratitude. But one thing I can tell you from this experience, I am forever changed. I am not the same person. How could I be? My passion to meet the hearts of every woman is further ingrained in my soul. You are my sisters in this journey called life. It's my life's purpose to see you overcome your crossroads, your obstacles, and your roadblocks. Thank you for allowing me to be vulnerable. Thank you for receiving my story with so much love. until next time, I want you, and I sincerely say this, I want you to be blessed. And feel free to share my story of triumph, healing, and overcoming with others. I am Lady O, your podcast host, your lifestyle influencer, your empowerment coach, and an overcomer to cancer. Be blessed.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Please subscribe to this podcast and like, share, and follow on Facebook and Instagram. Until next time, be well, be safe, and be kind to yourself.